Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the West Ham Network. Listen, we won a game. We won a game after 4 consecutive defeats in the Premier League, and we beat Nottingham Forest 3-2 at home. And albeit it may have been a kind of up and down performance, at the end of the day, it's a results business. We got the points, and we walked away victorious at the end of the game. Now, there's some things that we can talk about that are positive. There's some things we can talk about that are negative, and we'll get through them because this is, of course, the 5 things we learned about the West Ham 3, Nottingham Forest 2 game. However, as you've probably seen already, I didn't do the watch along yesterday, and you've already had some fan reviews as well. And today you will hear from Russ dissecting the game even more when he gives you the player ratings. But without further ado, I am here for one reason and one reason only, and that is to bring to you all of my 5 things we think we learned from the West Ham Nottingham Forest game. So let's get straight into it. Now, I can't get my head around it, but my number 1 point is the defense is lacking something. Now, the more I keep thinking about it, and the more that we talk about it as fans, the thing that I think we lack is a no-nonsense central defender. Not a Konstantinos Mavropanos, not a Naif Agerd, not a Kurt Zuma, but a Craig bloody Dawson. I think there is a no-nonsense defender needed, really, to be honest. And I think that's why David Moyes was linked to players like Michael Keane in the past and players like that. And I think that really would set West Ham up defensively quite well. And it's, you know, I'm not digging out our defence. I'm not digging out individuals. I don't like to do that. Well, sometimes I do, and sometimes you don't. But I think there's a collective set of errors that are stepping in. And I can't pinpoint why. But I think it could be down to the fact that there's none of them are no nonsense. They're, you know, Agerd is your ball-playing defender, quality player, and you think that you match him up with a Craig Dawson, it looks good. You match up Kurt Zuma with a Craig Dawson, it's good. Like, who's the one defender that you would want to start at West Ham and match them up with that person? And right now we've got Mavropanos, Agerd, and Zuma, and in actual fact, we don't really know our best pairing, but plus, I honestly couldn't tell you who I think would be number 1 on the team sheet out of those 3 central defenders. So there's a little bit of something we need to learn from there moving forward. What do you think? Put it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts as we move on to number 2, which is the intensity, which is key. Listen, when West Ham show that level of intensity, it's unbelievable, but something makes me think that we don't have it in our tanks, and I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is. I can't understand why we can show it for 10 minutes at the start of a game, for 30 minutes at the end of the game. I don't know where those levels of intensities disappear to and why we seem to disappear in that, because at some points in the game, you can't deny it, we did look a little bit static, and at that point you thought, God, the organisation, what Nottingham Forest were doing, they were going to get at us and they were going to create goals, etc. Listen, there's no ifs or buts about it. We did create opportunities and we could have had a lot more goals than what we did, but equally, so could Nottingham Forest, and I think it's down to our intensity, and it's, again, back to that same old saying, depends on what West Ham's going to turn up, and that's something I think definitely needs to change moving forward. However, let's talk about something that could be positive. Was this guy Soucek the difference in the West Ham game today? I thought he had an absolutely phenomenal game. He bagged himself a goal. He could have had more goals, to be honest, after hitting the bar. A fantastic save from the Nottingham Forest keeper. In his whole game, he played 90 minutes. He had 35 touches. He had 3 shots on target, 1 shot off target. He won nearly 100% of his aerial duels in the game. He also won nearly 100% of his ground duels as well. He made 6 clearances, 1 interception with, of course, 2 tackles alongside that. The guy was influential, I'm not going to deny it, and he always goes under the radar. And when he has a good game, again, he goes under the radar. But when he has a bad game, he seems to come to the forefront of a person that people want to blame quite a lot. But I feel like his going forwardness offered us another threat again. And when you've got someone like JWP, who we'll come on to in a second, pinging those chances into the box. You want maybe someone else and no other than Tommy Soucek on the end of it. And talking of JWP, world-class JWP, people may slag me off for what I'm about to say about the world-class comment, but let me tell you why I've written the world-class. I genuinely don't think there is a better set-piece taker in the world right now. Not for his all-round game, but for his set pieces. I genuinely don't think there is. Bagged himself a brace of set pieces today. He's got 9 in all competitions. He's created the most chances in the Europa League. He had 94 touches on the ball. He had a 96% pass completion rate. He had 5 key passes in the game with accuracy of a third of his crosses in the whole game. He won nearly 100% of his ground duels, 100% of his aerial duels, with making 1 clearance and 1 tackle as well in the game. So the guy definitely is world-class in his set-piece ability. There is no ifs or buts about it, and it's a weapon, and it's a secret weapon, and it's something we can bring to the table. And when he is on fire, that's what happens. What do you think? Put it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts as we move on to the last point, which is if Moyes played like that for 90, what do I mean by that? If you take the first 5-10 minutes and you take the last 30 minutes and you bundle them all up and you think, where's the other 45 minutes gone? See if we had that level of intensity game after game after game after game. The intensity that we put into the first half against Brentford, the intensity we gave at Arsenal, and then the intensity that we had for 5 minutes at the start and 30 minutes at the end. If he did that for more games, there would be maybe less debate, less problems within the fan base. Maybe less fans would give him, more fans would give him time to adjust. But for some reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a defensive mindset in him that makes the team drop back once we go ahead like we did. And it feels like that sometimes that's what happens. It takes for West Ham to go down for us to progress forward. And when we go up, we sit back. It's about changing those mindsets, and I don't know what we do with that, but maybe that argument would change a little bit if we had that level of consistency in those 90 minutes or not. I am not too sure, but you let me know your thoughts on what I've said to you this morning. Anyway, there are my 5 things I have learned about the West Ham game with Nottingham Forest. What do you think? Put it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. This particular show is also sponsored by our new sponsors, Beer 52. I'm going to hand over to Russ to explain to you what they are all about. Come on, you irons.
Fancy some free beer this Christmas? Does Edson Alvarez love a booking? Does Michael Antonio love a podcast? The answer to all those questions is yes, of course. And it's Beer 52's award season where they celebrate the very best in independent craft breweries across the world with 8 new and exclusive beers you're not going to find anywhere else. All you need to do is go to beer52.com/West Ham and cover the postage of $5.95, and they'll send you out a free case of 8 exclusive beers straight away. I love Beer 52. I've been using them for a while. I love the fact that you get different beers every month, and this month is an absolute cracker as they celebrate the greatest talents in the craft global beer movement. For example, craft beer giants Omnipolo's Outer Galactic, cracking beer. It's really smooth, really drinkable pale ale, really hoppy, and really nicely rounded to ensure you're coming back for more and more. You can drink this one quite a lot. It's very nice indeed. But if you don't like dark beer, not a problem. Simply choose the light case, and don't forget you get a couple of tasty snacks too. You can also learn about all the fantastic breweries featured in your case with the award-winning Ferment magazine as well. So you find sort of the provenance and find out more about the story of the brewer that you're drinking. And even after all that, if you're still not satisfied, you can simply pause or cancel any time. So that's beer52.com/West Ham to claim your free case. That's beer52.com/West Ham.